2023 was a pretty packed travel year. With over 60,000 kilometers flown between my school terms and work, my credit card strategy came in pretty handy. Now with 2024 expected to be a lot quieter in terms of international travel, it's probably a good idea to reevaluate my credit card strategy and optimize it so I can get the best rewards for the coming year. Hey everyone, welcome back to the CreditVerse channel. My name is Olian and today I'm going to be walking you through my 2024 credit card strategy. I'll look at some of the cards I'm parting ways with and some I'm looking to pick up over the coming year. Before we even dive into that, let's take a look at my 2023 credit card strategy and how it translated to actual card acquisitions over the course of the year. If you took the chance to tune in last year, you know I had my eyes set on two specific cards, the American Express Aeroplan Reserve and the TD First Class Travel Visa Infinite. My crystal ball predicted a 110,000 point bonus for the American Express Aeroplan Reserve, which indeed did come around in early May. The sky-high $12,000 minimum spend spread over the course of 2 years did really make me reevaluate if I wanted this card at that specific time. As much as I love my sweet Aeroplan points, I realized that this wasn't really the time to get the card, as I'm sure a better bonus is going to come around over the course of the next year, where it's going to be either more condensed or have a lower minimum spend, so I let it go for 2023. Now, despite missing out on both of the cards I had in my credit card strategy for 2023, I didn't leave the year empty-handed. I added the American Express Marriott Bonvoy in early May for its 50,000 point bonus, as well as its 15 elite night credits I'd be using to requalify for Marriott Gold for the upcoming year. I do intend on keeping this card around for quite some time. Its annual free night certificate makes it a pretty easy keeper card, as well as those aforementioned elite night credits help you requalify for gold year after year, which sometimes may not be the most valuable, but even if you get a good amount of value out of it every single year, it does make the $120 annual fee very stomachable. The CIBC Aventura Visa Gold was another good card with a really easy to hit bonus, as well as an elevated redeem rate of 1.25 cents per point for all Aventura points. The card was also first year free, making it a really enticing pickup, as you netted a few $100 for spending just $1,000, which is a 30% or 40% return. It also came with 4 lounge passes through the Visa Airport Companion program, which is pretty handy to have in places like Europe, where some of my other cards couldn't really get me into a lounge, but this card did. You'll sense a bit of a trend here with me pretty much just picking up cards that have pretty strong bonuses, as I know I'm going to be able to use those points in one way or another over the coming years. This was especially the case with the Brim KLM Air France World Elite MasterCard. It came with a 60,000 point bonus, which was a little bit hard to hit. It also came with a 100 XP to sweeten the pot a little bit, which helped me get to Flying Blue Silver status for the next year, where I'll be able to use some of those perks, hopefully maybe in the coming summer or just at the end of the year. My last major addition was the RBC WestJet World Elite Master. This one is a bit of a mix between the perks and the bonus. I realized over the course of the year that I was flying WestJet more than I had in previous years, and how the free bag benefit would really make up the annual fee of this card pretty quickly, considering you pay around $40 a bag, and if you take 3 flights, you're going to pay the $120 annual fee right off. Another perk is the companion voucher, which can save you several $100s if you use it at times when cash prices are high, or at least the base fare is really high and the taxes and fees are pretty low in places like Asia, with WestJet opening up so many more routes to the continent. Another thing that kind of just pushed me over the edge to get this card was the $700 bonus coming around just at the end of last year. And I thought, well, if I'm going to be using a lot of these perks, I may as well just pick the card up now, get as much of this bonus as physically possible, and then just move on. I can say it's been a really strong addition since. I've used the free bags twice already, which means I've basically written off about $80 of the $120 annual fee, with most of the year to go. Now that all of 2023 is wrapped up, let's talk about some of the cards I'm trying to get rid of in my portfolio this year to streamline the wallet just a little bit. First up is the American Express Gold card. Now this card actually holds a lot of sentimental value to me. It was the first real credit card I got after getting my first cashback MasterCard from RBC, and it's actually probably the reason CreditVerse as a channel exists. Sentimentality aside though, it's time to bid farewell. I've gotten the max amount of the bonus I possibly could have. I've used the lounge vouchers, and I've also used the travel credit, which means this card really doesn't have that much value. The only remaining benefit for me over the course of the last year was really the Amex offers, but over the last couple of months, those started getting shifted to my other cards anyways that I end up using more. Instead of being a useful tool, it's becoming a relic at the bottom of my sock drawer. I think it's about time to just call it and move on with another card. Another card in the same line is a CIBC Aventura Visa Gold. You'll probably notice just a couple of minutes ago I talked about adding this card, and I talked about how I got it just for the bonus in its lounge visits. Well, I've gotten the entire bonus and I've used all the lounge visits, meaning this card doesn't really hold that much value anymore. It doesn't have a really strong earn rate or any other perks, or any good reason for me to keep it around for another year and pay the annual fee. The last card on this shopping block is the HSBC World Elite Master. Now this card is becoming the RBC Avion Visa Infinite card on April 1st, and I've gotten this card and I'm not really sure if I want to keep it. The reason being, it was my go-to card for Costco visits, but since this is no longer a MasterCard, it's now a Visa card, I can't use it at Costco anymore, meaning it's not really worth all that much. An interesting perk that this card has that got grandfathered in from the HSBC World Elite version is the fact that it has no foreign transaction fees, and it's one of the only Visa cards that still carries this. Now this could prove really valuable, especially for international travel, but considering I won't be doing a lot of that this year, it may make sense to just get rid of this card and potentially pick up another card with no foreign transaction fees when I'm traveling more internationally, potentially next year. I'm still undecided, but I have a couple more months, and I do get a $50 or a $100 travel credit with this card when it gets transitioned over, so I'm probably going to end up using that and then maybe getting rid of the card. Before I dive into all the cards I'm about to add for the rest of the year, I do urge you to please subscribe if you're enjoying the video thus far and you want to see more content like this delivered straight to your sub box. We're getting so close to 8,000 subscribers, and we're really looking forward to a lot of the really cool content we're about to make over the course of the summer when we have a little bit more time on our hands. Now, with my sock drawer a little less cluttered, let's take a look at the best part of this video, some of the new cards I'm planning on adding for 2024. Before we dive into the exact cards, let's talk about some of these strategies. I know it's likely I won't be traveling internationally as much this year as I was in the previous year, so it doesn't really make sense to get a card that has perks tailored really towards international travel or even trans-border travel, like the American Express Platinum card, for example. Instead, what I really want to do is get a bunch of cards that have a really high bonus right now that's pretty easy to hit, or at least relatively straightforward to hit over the course of a year, so I can bolster my war chest for a lot of the travel starting in January of 2025. First in the new additions, it's a bit of an old friend, the American Express Aeroplan Reserve card. Similar to last year, I do intend on picking this card up when it has a 110 or 120,000 point bonus, but ideally one that's maybe a little bit more condensed. I'm okay with having to spend $10,000 over 4 or 5 months, but having to spend $12,000 and then a little bit more over the course of 15 or 16 months just makes it so challenging to keep track of all the time, and I really want to be getting bonuses out as quickly as I can so I can move on to a better card and use those points up and kind of just keep churning it through. While I do see myself holding this card for quite some time, I would still like to not have to worry about getting a bonus on it all the time, just the fact that I can use it for some of its perks and then just keep it back in the sock drawer in my wallet when I'm not really using it on a day-to-day basis. Now, those aforementioned perks are pretty much taking everything the core tier card has and cranking them up a little bit. Namely, this comes with things like Make Believe Lounge access, which is pretty nice to have, especially if you fly a lot of Air Canada, as those lounges tend to be a little bit better compared to the Plaza Premium ones in most places across Canada. It has a host of other priority airport perks as well, starting with priority check-in, baggage, security, and also boarding, which makes it really nice and streamlines the airport experience just a little bit and can shave off anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. Next on this list is the Amex Green Card. And you may be thinking, Alion, why are you getting the Amex Green Card? This is the lowest card in the Amex ladder. Like, why would you even spend your time getting this card, getting the bonus, when there's so many other better cards available? Well, it's actually really simple. In the last section of the video, I talked about getting rid of my Amex Gold card. That was the only card I have that currently collects MR points. I have a bunch of MR points saved up, and I don't want to transfer them all to Air Canada or maybe BA or one of the other transfer partners. I'd rather keep them as MR points if possible. So what my plan is to take the points from the Amex Gold card and transition them onto the Amex Green, so I have a place to keep my MR points for the entire year. And also the 10,000 Amex point bonus or MR point bonus on this card is pretty enticing to have because it's only $8,000 minimum spend, and I can hit that 10k and just move on once again. The last card I'm going to add this year, or at least the last card I plan on adding this year as of right now, is the RBC Avion Visa Infinite. It has its 55,000 Avion point bonus floating around, which will go a long way to bolstering this hypothetical war chest I have for travel next year. It unfortunately doesn't come with the same no foreign transaction fees benefit as its HSBC grandfathered sibling, but hopefully over the next couple of years, RBC is going to maybe make this addition to the card, considering they're already going to be doing that for the HSBC grandfathered one. It's otherwise reasonably strong. We've made a full video about this card, talking about all its perks and benefits and how to really maximize Avion points, so be sure to watch that after finishing up this one. And there you have it, my 2024 credit card strategy laid in front of you. I hope you guys found this video insightful and informative, and it helped you really craft your strategy for 2024. Be sure to let us know what that looks like down in the comments below, and with that, we'll see you next week. Take care.